Alright, quick update on Optimism, ticker symbol OP. So, I've literally lost count of the amount of people that have asked me to cover this. I've been swarmed with requests to cover this over my Discord and my Twitter for the past week or so. So finally, I will check this out, see what is going on with this. Right off the bat, I'm really not the biggest fan of this chart. We are basically capitulating almost down to where this minted on a bunch of exchanges. We're going to be charting this over on OKX. You can also check it out over on Binance and some others, but from what I can see over here, on OKX we have the most data traded, at least on TradingView, so this is what I'm going to be running off now. At this moment in time, we've basically capitulated below everything, so, you know, we came down from your lows. Let's see what we've got here. So from when this minted, low to your high, we get rid of the background fib, we went all the way up, came down. Let's draw this down to the candle body close. So it looks like we came down and back tested the 618 of the candle body close, started to bounce up, got rejected from the 236, and ever since then we have been sliding down, and we are coming right down to the 618 fib, which is sitting right at $1.03. So I noticed there is going to be a support box down here between, basically, let's mark it. So you've got $1.03 down here on your 618 fib. You have this Fibonacci, or you have this low from the wick down here, and then obviously I'm going to include the psychological level of $1, because that's going to be a big round number. A lot of people are going to be freaking out and panicking if we do capitulate below these price targets. So there's not a plethora of data traders, so there's only so much I can say on this chart. I also do want to point out from a fundamental perspective, the fundamentals on this crypto aren't here, at least in my opinion. This has already got co-signed by Vitalik, but if you head over to their website, they do not have a white paper. Now, you know, I know that there's going to be people out there that are like, what do you mean it doesn't have a white paper? They've got like some funny pictures on how their thing works. I believe if you come over to documentation, they have basically this whole, people are going to consider this to be a white paper. If it's not called a white paper, it's not a white paper. This is a light paper, in my opinion. It's either a light paper or a mid paper, and a light paper and a mid paper is basically what a project first has when it doesn't necessarily have too much of a direction, and it just wants to start building. It wants to get itself out of there before they decide what they want to do, which is completely fine. However, I can't justify a crypto with millions in market cap that doesn't have a white paper. So just my opinion. You can hate on me for my opinion if you want, but it is what it is. This doesn't have a white paper, so, you know, personally, in my opinion, it is a shitcoin until it does have a white paper. Like I said, just my subjective opinion, but no white paper, no bueno for Cowboy. That's my opinion. Let's look at what's going on in the charts, because we're basically coming down to one of the last fibs that we probably really ought to hold at this point in time. So we talked about this fib from the high to the low. I've drawn this to the wrong lows. So from this high, the next lows down were down here. So once again, your floor is literally at $1.05, and unfortunately, we've capitulated below every single trend from the high to the low. So, or every single fib trend line from the high to the low. So it doesn't look bullish to me. It looks like we're bearish. Does that mean that we can't pump up in the short term? I don't necessarily think we can't. If anything, I do think we'd have a decent chance of coming up to some of these resistance levels. For example, I do see a big area of resistance coming in with the EMA ribbons, the top of these EMA ribbons, also the candle body closes below here. I would say the candle wicks down here, but we've, you know, already back tested them and started to move up, so I'm not going to mention these. This is your area of resistance though. So if you want to consider OP to be even moderately bullish, then you would need to have not only a push above $1.26, which is where the 1 hourly EMA ribbons are coming in. You would need to push above 126, let's say go up to 130, back test, and then start pushing above these levels, and that would only make you micro bullish in the short term. So at this moment in time, you know, if you're a seasoned veteran to my channel, you probably already know that I'm about to put up the Bitcoin dominance and let you know that altcoins are not performing well against Bitcoin. And, you know, you might be thinking Optimism has done okay since it's mint, right? But if we go out and check, bear in mind this really hasn't been traded for too long. So, you know, the 1 month chart, this came around very recently, like the past week or so. So in the past week, this has come out, and you can see this is absolutely landslided against Bitcoin. This went from 0.00014 down to 0.00004. So we've added another zero. We haven't, you know, dropped 90% because we've added another zero, because I don't know the exact target. Unfortunately, I don't believe there is an OP BTC chart. Oh, there is an OP BTC chart now. I checked this out yesterday and there was no BTC chart. So let's look at how Optimism is performing against Bitcoin. You know, I feel like this is, once again, enough said. We're capitulating back down to the lows. We had our hype come in, and since then, you know, like I always say, volume is indicative of price. If we look at why we rallied, we can see, you know, originally we had 480,000 we had 480,000 OP traded against Bitcoin. Over here on this hourly candle, we had 693,000 OP traded against Bitcoin. And what have we got going on now when we're having this pump? We've got 19,000. So we are completely landsliding in terms of volume. I think that we are going to start diminishing in terms of interest. I think a lot of people got into this to maybe make a quick buck. Like I said, this doesn't have a white paper, so you can't be super bullish on it from a fundamental perspective. You can be super bullish on it from a pumpamental perspective. But that, in my opinion, is all this has going for it. So like I said, the Bitcoin dominance is going up. Bitcoin is very, very likely to continue to outperform altcoins while this is heading up. So be very, very cautious. I personally would not plan on trading OP. If anything, I think, you know, the highest we can expect is to move up maybe to 126. I kind of expect us to move back down to the $1 mark and then probably start to capitulate to some lower price targets. It is what it is. I'm moderately bearish. Well, I'm pretty bearish on most altcoins right now. I've been bearish on altcoins for the past month, and if you were in altcoins for the past month, then the likelihood is then that you probably got wrecked, because like I said, the Bitcoin dominance is going on a massive rally. I don't say that to, you know, make fun of anyone or make anyone feel bad about their investments, but the fact of the matter is it's very black and white. Bitcoin dominance goes up, altcoins go down against Bitcoin, and that is exactly what we're seeing on OP against Bitcoin. That's what we're seeing on all the altcoins against Bitcoin. So I do think we're heading down to some lower price targets. Conveniently, at exactly $1, we have a 1.618 fib down here. So this is literally beautiful right down here. Let's mark this orange. So I really do think this is probably your setup. I think we are moving to lower price targets. Like I said, just my subjective opinion. Not the biggest fan of this project until it has a white paper. Like I said, no bueno for Cowboy. Got a head and shoulders pattern potentially playing out at this moment in time. If you do want to invalidate this head and shoulders pattern, you would need to move below the top of the right shoulder. This is going to be a big resistance point as well, coming in at $1.22. So expect anything like this. Potentially expect something like this, or maybe just expect this, where we slowly start to trickle down and then build up momentum to the downside. Either way, bear in mind, you know, I've got this drawn up because I'm saying I don't necessarily think it's impossible for us to have a bounce, but my macro prediction is that we are going to move down to these lower price targets, like the 2.618 down here at 78 cent. I really don't think that is a, you know, massive breakdown target. I don't think I'm being super bearish by saying that this new crypto that's just come out of nowhere that doesn't even have a white paper is going to move down about another 32.5%. So that's basically all I've got for OP. Like I said on this channel, you know, I don't do all that hopium moon boy BS. I say it how it is. I look at the charts how it is. I researched this. I went all the way through their documentation. I looked all the way online, and they don't have a white paper. They don't have a white paper. They don't have a mid paper. So I'm not necessarily interested in this project. If you were looking to invest in this, then I could only recommend this as a swing trade. But that's basically all I've got. Best of luck if you are trading this. I am expecting a move down to 77 cent. Bear in mind, this is more of a macro move. This is probably going to plan out over the next couple of weeks. So, you know, if we pump, you know, another 10% or so, you know, this doesn't change anything. In fact, I'm saying that it is probably likely we could have a move up before we move down. That's basically all I've got. Like I said, best of luck as always. Cowboy out. Peace.